Hey, good evening, guys. How you doing? How's everybody? Those of you that are here, good to see you. Who do we got here so far? We got Jody, first one in. How you doing? And Russell, William, second. He says. Mike Night Train is in here. Michael Blades, FPV has a new name. Guess you're all in for this, Mike, huh? Good to see you. Drone Psych, I made you a moderator. And Hot Rod, how you doing? Good to see you, Rod. Who is that? Chaos. Chaos is here. Good to see you, my friend. And so far, that's about it. That's it. I have sent out a few, not too many, but a couple of invites, and everybody's having a hard time getting out of bed today, I guess. But nobody's here yet, and we got 7 people in here. One of them is me, so that means 6 people. So not a rousing crowd quite yet. Yeah, Michael says he's all in. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, I guess. Well, I guess Carlos should be in here pretty soon because I want to talk about his little Acrobrat that we were building last week on the live stream, and I've since finished it, test flown it a couple times, and first time I flew it, it had an awful lot of video noise, so I looked around, and everything, in a small quad like this, the video transmitter is crammed right up against the back of the ESC and the back over in this area. And I thought maybe the capacitor and the power wires and all that were just a little too close to the VTX. So I took it all apart, and I took the capacitor out from inside the quad and mounted it up here on the power lead. They say it's still good. They say it's not quite as good, but based on the reduction in video noise that I got by getting all that stuff out from near the VTX, it's certainly a lot better. And I have videos, and I'll show you that stuff here pretty soon. I wanted Carlos to see them, so I'm waiting for him to get in. The thing flies great. It's got the RunCam hybrid camera on it, and the video I recorded it, even though it goes to 4K 30, I recorded it at 2.7K 60 frames a second. It came out great. The video looks good from the FPV camera. Good color, good exposure. It appears to be a great camera, and the thing just, not that I'm the world's most expert pilot, but the thing flies great. So it's going to be hard for me to send this puppy to Carlos, I think, but I'll do it. I'll do it anyway because it's his quad, not mine. But not wanting to feel left out myself, I'm building this thing here, and we'll talk about this tonight too. This is my new project, and it's a Roma 3, and it's another one of these. And I am having so much fun with this little Roma 3, I decided to build another one, but put a little better camera and put an F7 processor in it, and little bigger motors. So hopefully it'll fly even better than this one does. So we're here, and anybody else come in? I see 9 people. Nobody new in the chat. So do I call Carlos and ask him where the hell he is? I could do that. I mean, this is silly. I'll take the night off if this is the way it's going to go. So let's see here. Phone. Carlos. Speaker. Says calling, but it's not ringing. What happened?
I You reached Carlos. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message or a text, and I'll get back to you.
Well, that's encouraging. Let's try it again. Wow. It's almost like Carlos is out of range because it's...
You reached Carlos.
Yeah, it's almost like his phone is turned off. Well, okay, I won't wait for Carlos then. What I'll do is I will show you this little video that I put together of my little test flying of Carlos's quad, and a little narration. It's kind of like a YouTube video, but rather than publish it on a channel, I figured I just show it to you guys here. If there's nothing else that comes up, I'll do that. So let me get over to that screen. Oops, that's not the right screen. Hang on a second, guys. So let me go back to this and let me fix it. It is that screen, and this. Every once in a while, I find that when I open OBS, it swaps monitors around, and what last time was the center monitor might now be the right monitor. So let me swap these two. And now if I press this button, I ought to see myself in there. There we go. Okay, so let me play this thing. I'm going to turn my mic off, and you can listen to this. Unmute the sound, and here we go. It's me, Mitch, old guy in a drone, and I'm out here this morning at the park on a mission. And today's mission is to test fly the new quad that we built online on a live stream for Carlos. So let me show it to you. Here it is. And here it is. This is Acrobrat, and it's got a Rush Tank Mini 800 milliwatt VTX. It's got the Diatone Mamba 722 Mini flight stack, and it's got the Run Cam hybrid camera, high def camera with DVR, and it's got two lenses. The bottom lens is for the FPV feed, the top lens is for the 4K 30 DVR. It's got HDLRC flame motors on it, gem fan props, and weighs about 175 grams without a battery. And we're going to give it a shakedown flight and see how well it performs. I think we're set here. Hat cam's running. Landing pad. Grass is a little wet. I'm not happy about that, but hopefully we won't get it in the grass. All right, here we go. Plug this puppy in here. And everything is blinking. The camera in the quad is recording. Let's just wipe the lenses just for grins. Make sure we're starting off with clean lenses, even though this is going to be kind of a line of sight flight. And there we are. So alrighty. let's see what happens here. Hey! Oh, pretty good. Sounds pretty smooth. It's quiet. Well, we'll just hover it a little bit, make sure that nothing falls off of it or it doesn't fall out of the sky for any reason. It looks okay. So let's get it ready for a little FPV flight. Very good. Not bad. Now it's time for the goggles. So next thing you see is going to be from the quad. Okay, you notice all the noise in the video feed. This was the first flight that I did, and I mean, it was flyable, but it was horrible. All kinds of motor noise in the video feed. Ed asked me what radio is that. That's my jumper T16 with Carlos's Crossfire module plugged in the back. It's not why it's noisy. The noisy part was I think the proximity of the VTX to the capacitor and the battery leads. Michael McReynolds, how you doing? It's funny, you'd think Ed, you're thinking about a new radio. I'd get the Radio Master T16S. It's better than the jumper. When I got my jumper, there was no Radio Master, but I have since bought one of those just to have it. Yeah, I would get the Radio Master and Crossfire module. Make sure when you order your Crossfire module, though, you order the Micro TX, not the Nano TX. It's funny, you'd think that this, not being my quad, being Carlos's quad, that I'd be more fearless flying it, but the opposite was true. I didn't want to break it. I mean, I didn't want to do anything even close. So I found that I wasn't even concentrating on anything, trying to make the flight look cinematic, trying to do anything that looked like it required any talent. Just basically a shakeout flight for the quad, flying it around, making sure that it was stable. It didn't have a lot of, the tune was okay, and that it was smooth, and did real well. And the big picture there on the screen is a 2.7K recording from the onboard DVR. Unfortunately, it was early in the morning, the sun was very low in the sky, and there's just no way when you're flying right into the sun that the ground's not going to get dark. So now the second flight coming up is one I did this morning after I kind of made modifications to the thing, and it still has a small amount of video noise in it, but the improvement is dramatic. And that was getting the capacitor out from and the power lead from being that close to the VTX. Yeah, it says I'm supposed to fly it like I stole it. Yeah, but if I break it, then I'm going to have to probably make good on it for Carlos. And I didn't want the responsibility. Even today, I just kind of flew it around for a while. Now, what I'm doing here, if you look at the menus at the smart audio control, I went ahead and actually threw the video transmitter into 800 milliwatts, and as soon as I arm it, you'll see in the lower left-hand OSD, it'll say F:3:800, and that has a low power disarm set. So when you're not armed, you're at low power, 25 milliwatts. As soon as you arm the thing, it goes to 800. So you can see there's still a little noise. I'm not counting the normal type of VTX noise. I'm talking about the motor noise. And you see it in the sky. You don't really see it in the lower part, but it's much better. It's just the nature of analog in a lot of cases. I don't know what I could do to make it better than that, but I'd be happy with that. It's perfectly flyable, and the image from the goggles the colors are great. The focus and everything. It's not digital, but it's nice. I'm pleased with it. Again, that's the park where part of where our event is going to be next year. Part of the event will be here at the park. And so I decided while I was flying this thing, I would kind of go up fairly high with it, get it out a little bit, check the range on the video, and you get to see almost the whole park coming up here. Brat, how you doing, buddy? Doc Murdoch, Chris, good to see you. Sunrise Water Media is in the house. Good to see you. Everybody's in the house except people on my panel. I have nobody on my panel yet. Ed, sent you a link. Did you get the link? If you did, come on in. And see if you can't find Carlos. Because this is supposed to be all about him here tonight. So here I am kind of up high over the park. Beautiful place to fly. Ed's, you got a job, huh, Ed? Yeah, the problem with most of these cameras is at a high angle like this one, it's in the sky and pointing at the sun. Of course, it's going to expose for the sky, and stuff down around the ground is going to get... Okay, there. That was it, guys. I was kind of hoping Carlos could see that. I guess I'll have to show it to him at another time. But who else we got here? Paul. How you doing, Paul? Screw Carlos, give me his quad. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know whose teeth you got to pull to get somebody to actually come in and talk to me here tonight, but it's going to be one of those nights, I think. I didn't send out a whole lot of links, but I sent them to the guys who I thought would be able to add to this conversation about Carlos's quad. And Paul, I think I sent you one. Chris, Mitch, did you see Rotor Riot's new sub 250 5-inch quad they put a video out on? Is that, I didn't see a Rotor Riot video, but I did see Tommy's sub 250 5-inch. He calls it, what does he call it, the 250 or something like that? Is that the one you're talking about? But no, I didn't see I'm enjoying. They're not as dramatic and as powerful feeling as a real hot 5 or 6 or 7-inch quad, but I seem to find that flying the little 3-inch, more than a toothpick, I don't know what you'd call them. They call them the long range style, the ones with the dead cat, so you don't have any props in the camera, and I'm finding myself just flying these little ones more than anything, which is why I decided to build another one, and I'm in the process of building this thing. And rather than sit here on a live stream and screw motor screws in, I just decided I actually videoed the whole thing, and I'm going to just take and make a 10 or 15 minute video of pretty much the highlights of the whole build, rather than do it on a live stream. But so far, it's the same frame as this one. It's the Diatone Roma L3, and it's this one has the Cadex Vista, the Nebula Pro. This one had the Vista, the inexpensive, the original Nebula with Eachine version, which I got. They were giving them away on sale for about half price, and works great, but it's not nearly the camera that this one is. So this will have a little better image. This camera has the ability to do the 120 frames a second, and either 4:3 or 16:9. That other camera's pretty much stuck at 60 frames a second at 16:9. So this ought to be a little bit better. And on this one, I'm also putting an F7 flight stack in it with a BL Heli 32 ESC, so I can really bump the PWM rate up on that. And I put 1404 motors on this as opposed to the 1105 motors on the other. These are 3800 kV, so it ought to work out pretty good. Anyway, there'll be a video on the build for this thing when I get it done. And I have company. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yay. Hold on. Let me give this guy a round of applause. There he is.
How you doing, Mitch?
Wow, it was lonely, man.
I know. It was supposed to be all about Carlos. He even sent me a text earlier. He says, "Don't forget, Mitch, it's 7 o'clock."
Yeah, I know.
And,
I tried calling him, and his phone went right to voicemail.
He's probably sleeping, the bum. And they call me a bum.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Well, I know he naps in the afternoon, but I don't know. Maybe something came up. I haven't heard
I hope he's all right. I talked to him. Did I
Hey,
talk
Charlie.
to him today?
Sorry. Just looking I'm watching you on the TV. You know.
So what's new with you? How's the flying going?
Good. I mean, it's been crappy weather. Today was I was off today, and I would have liked to go fly, but it was just too windy, man. Like, I went out this morning. I tried a little bit, but it was scary. I was like, I don't want to lose the new baby look. I tried to take it out. I did all right, but
What is that noise? What is that noise?
was that I'm sorry, I just got
a buzzing sound. Oh, is that your
yeah,
phone vibrating?
that's
Oh,
my phone. Yeah, I got somebody sent me a message. I didn't see it. You were paying attention. I wasn't. Probably Carlos saying, "Tell Mitch I'm going to be late." Maybe I could look at it without.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and look at it.
I wonder if that. Yeah. No, I don't think it was Carlos. I don't
know what the hell's wrong with him tonight.
I don't know.
I got something here, some notification. Just, I got on Facebook here, and now all I get is friend requests. Everybody wants to be my friend.
Oh, well.
Wants me, or wants, yeah. Everybody selling insurance wants to be my friend. Everybody who wants every hot young girl that wants me to be her sugar daddy. They want to be my friend. And
I thought they were just talking to me.
I hate to disappoint you.
They chat you in the comments too. I get the girls coming to comment. Oh, meet me later.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They never show.
They've been waiting their whole life for me. Yeah, all 12 years of it. Of their life, they've been waiting for me.
So yeah, Carlos came over earlier. We were trying to. Well, actually, we did fix one of his drones. He had a camera issue where it was out of focus, and I think you might have even looked at it yourself. The ring to lock it was broken, so I think you glued it. But we couldn't get it to focus again or stay focused. So we I think that was a run cam. He had another drone.
Was that his Acrobrat?
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
The Acrobrat, yeah, because that happened when he was down here. The ring broke off of it, so we kept trying to glue it with different kinds of glues, and we finally got it to stay in focus. And then he goes and tries to fly underneath that long covered walkway and slams it into the ceiling and knocked the glue loose, and now it's out of focus again. Did you get it fixed?
We wound up putting another lens on it from another camera, the Foxeer camera, and it worked.
Oh, okay. And it had a ring, so you could tighten it.
It had a ring, right.
Yeah.
I was just going to put the ring on the run cam camera, but it was all full of glue that just didn't want to come off. So I said, that's cool. Let's see if this fits or works. And it worked. We got him focused. He got all good. The ring's tightened up. He's good to go again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris Doc Murdoch said he'd like to come in. So what I'm just going to do something that hope I don't regret. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. Anybody who wants to come in, because I think it's going to be kind of a free-for-all from here on out, and otherwise it's going to be a short stream. So let me go ahead and get the link here and put it in the chat. And anybody who wants to, knock yourself out. Go on in.
I'm going to come in.
I got plenty of room. I got room for 10 people, although that usually is a free-for-all.
And I'm surprised. Carlos isn't here. He's always the first one in here.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Every time I do this live stream, I'm not trying to be a YouTube star. I'm kind of disappointed with the number of people I get watching it, and then I look at some, and I won't, I'm not going to mention names, but there's guys on YouTube that just I'm bored to death, and they get tons of people watch them. And I don't know if they're watching them to watch their content, or they're watching them just to be in the chat. You know, in other
Right.
words, it's just an excuse to be in and say hi to all the guys in the community in the chat. And
I don't
I don't
often
know.
go on them because I'm not big on texting and chatting. So it's like I'll
No, I'm
watch a
not
lot,
either.
you
A lot
know.
of times,
But
Paul, I'm watching these things out on my patio so I can smoke a cigar.
right.
So I'm on my cell phone, and I can't, you know, you can't do the @ sign and shortcut to retype a guy's whole thing on a cell phone. You know, you can't, and I don't like typing on a little tiny keyboard, so I generally don't
I
chat at
screw
all.
up every time I type. I type something wrong. It comes out all screwed up. Autocorrect says something completely different, and then I'll
Correct.
talk the text, and it's even worse. It's like I didn't say that.
Yeah,
It's
autocorrect
frustrating.
can get very embarrassing sometimes. Some of the things it autocorrects are.
Yeah.
Oh man. At any rate, you know, so sometimes I wonder if it's worth doing this. If there's any interest in that, I'd like to uh, kind of steer
We
towards the
need
technical
you,
side of this
Mick.
stuff. What's that?
We need you. You have to do this, man. No pressure. No pressure.
Well, you
We're not
know,
having fun.
I took some time. I took some time off, and everybody started yelling at me. You know, we miss you, we miss you. So I came back, and what do? They sleep right through my stream, Carlos.
Yeah, I guess so. I
Yeah, what
guess.
happened to him? I'm worried now because I think I talked to him earlier today. Oh, I got a text. Who's the text from?
There you go.
It's from my daughter.
Uh, I could try to text.
What's
I'll
that?
try to text. Did you try
Yeah,
to text
see,
him later?
I tried to call him, but I got his voicemail. It's like his
See
phone
if
was turned off. It didn't ring or anything. It just went right to voicemail.
if I drop it, I'll come back. I don't know. Sometimes I hit a wrong button, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try though. I should still be here. I think I hear you. I hear noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your video's locked up, but
Because I don't see anything on my screen. Froze. Wow. Okay, but we didn't
but
drop
that's all
it.
right. I can still hear you.
What a pretty face, huh? Okay.
Here comes. We got somebody in here. It's Chris. Doc
Yay,
Murdoch. Doc Murdoch.
Doc Murdoch.
Hi,
Hey,
Hello.
Chris.
there I am. Yeah, I got to get this where I can see you guys where I'm looking in the right direction.
How you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there. In fact, I got to pop it out over here. I got to put it on a different screen. So, come in there. Get my monitor over here. It's kind of nice having 3 monitors.
Yeah. It gets a little confusing sometimes, but
Yeah, especially being number 1 is here, number 2 is there, but number 3 is over there.
I don't pretty much once it's set up, I don't have to deal with the numbers at all. I don't even know which one it thinks is number 1 anymore.
Yeah, for me, it's a matter of I don't use my 3rd monitor very often. So it's just when I do something like this where I'm going to be on with a number of people and I can put who I'm looking at right behind the camera. So
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good idea.
Kind of at the camera.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, this is not the computer that I normally work on. This is pretty much dedicated for video editing and this studio. So I'm always using the 3 monitors. This is the setup that I have here.
Oh, yeah, that's
And,
nice.
Well, it's actually pointing over at the workbench area here.
Yeah.
But there's a monitor here, and then the big monitor in the center, and then I got another monitor over on my left here.
Yeah, I kind of do similar. I got my main cameras to the left of everything, but I got my main 2 monitors are right here. So plus I've got an overhead camera, so that makes it handy. Plus a webcam where I can look down on the workbench. So
Cool. Yeah.
makes it easy. So
I did that too. I've got this camera that looks down on the workbench.
Yeah,
like
there you
that.
go.
See?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I have this camera that looks at the overview, and this camera, which is me. And then when I'm doing these live builds, I actually have another webcam that's hooked to the home works by Wi-Fi, and I can point it at anything. set it
Yeah,
on the
that's
desk.
handy.
Yeah,
I've got the
to get
ability to
close-ups.
do that as well. Use an NDI. I can take my iPhone or an Android phone or anything and hook it up to all of this. So, hey, Hot Rod. Hot Rod's in the chat.
I saw that. Yeah, he's been here since the beginning. Everybody's in the chat except Carlos, who's
He's on a giant screen, a 49-inch Super Ultra.
of course he is. Of course he is. Yeah, yeah. We would expect nothing less from Rod.
That's like when we watch Ken Heron, on Thursday nights. I'll sit out in the living room and I'll have my laptop on the coffee table and I'll run the chat from there. But I'll have Ken's show up on the screen, for Mama and I to watch, and I'll have the audio coming through that. So makes it kind of nice.
Yeah, yeah. Technology. We have so much. We have so much technology. So much.
Good Lord. It's amazing. I mean, thoroughly amazing what we are able to do right now with all of this.
I remember
amazing setup, and you're going to quit, Mitch? You can't do that.
No, I'm not quitting. I remember. I remember when the first days of Skype.
Yes.
The first, it sucked so bad. Half the time it was.
Yeah, it took about a year or two for it to kind of sort itself out.
Yeah.
And then it actually worked pretty good.
But I was so floored, just so amazed, because I remember when I was in high school, I went to the New York World's Fair in 1964, and AT&T had an exhibit.
Video phones.
The video phone.
Yes, I remember those.
Of the future, Jetsons, and it was the most amazing thing that you could actually see somebody and talk to them at the same time.
And then if I remember right, in the 70s, Disneyland installed a few of those in the Tomorrowland area.
They did. They did. Right. That they had, right here in Orlando, in the early days of Disneyland. That was the big thing. And now we all run around with our cell phones.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
Broadcasting higher quality video than the news stations used to be able to broadcast from their live remotes.
And I would go so far to say better than some of them they're producing now. Have you seen some of the broadcasts these guys are putting out? It's horrible.
Well, there's so many stations now that some guy's running out of his garage. Yeah. But by the magic of green screens and all the graphics, it actually almost looks like a real weather. There's some weather channels. I swear somebody's running them out of their garage. And
some of them look pretty amazing.
It really is. So I see Dan, Drone Worship's in the chat. How you doing, Dan? How you feeling, buddy? Are you home or are you still in the hospital?
Yeah, that's right. He was kind of under the weather there for a while, wasn't he?
Kinda, yeah. It looked like it's been a rough few days. Anyway, Dan, the link is in the chat here. Put it in again. Come on and join the party because it's
hard to tell if he's home or not. I think his last video he was in the hospital, but who knows when he made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one he did this afternoon. He was talking about the hospital, the soup and the whatever, and I think he was still in the hospital. Man, it's rough to keep going through all that.
Oh yeah. I'm fortunate for the kind of work I've done for the last 40 years that I'm as healthy as I am still. So
what kind of work do you do?
Well, I built freeways for a living for almost 40 years. And then
you need a medical degree? You need a medical degree for that?
Oh no, you just need to not kill yourself. So
you missed my joke there, Doc.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that. No, I built freeways and I ran the big equipment. I mean, stuff I ran weighed 80,000, 100,000 pound piece of equipment. Building freeways. So yeah, I'm surprised I'm as healthy as I am for as many years as I did it. So
probably why all that good hard work.
Yeah, all that good hard work.
It's that old saying. People talk about it, and they kind of kid about it now these days. But it's like the early to bed, early to rise thing. Well, I literally lived that. I'd get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and work all day and come home, and I'd be done by about 9 o'clock at night. And I was done. So, but I'd be getting home pretty close to 9 o'clock at night sometimes.
That's a hard living. Sounds like when I was in the Army. Nothing in the field artillery weighs less than 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How you doing, Rod?
It worked.
How are you,
Not
Rod?
bad. Not bad this week.
So let me ask you a question. The last time I saw you on a live stream, that sun was in exactly the same place. So is that sun rising or is that sun setting?
That is the sunrise because we're on the East Coast.
Okay, so you could be aiming it at the intercoastal too, in a real wide area. And it would almost look like that.
It's not not that wide down here or up here.
Yeah,
There's
down
you'd
behind my
see
son's
the
house.
You'd
Behind
still see the land.
Behind my son's house, it's over a mile wide where he is, and if you're on the
Yeah.
west side, you can almost
There you
get a view. But at any rate, so you live in the land of the never-ending sunrise, right there. It's cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Here's a little bit. There's a little bit later. Same
Oh, there you go. He just
okay.
put a different lens on. That's all.
Yeah, I see. Art's here. Hi, Art. How you
Well, see,
doing?
he may be in the never-ending land of the sun. I live in the land of enchantment. So,
So you gonna get that smart controller for the wife?
oh, it's going to be coming. I'm certain of that. Just not yet. So she's still learning how to use what we got. So, but she's definitely flying it more. So we flew it again Saturday with her. Put a couple more batteries through it. So, and then I even tested some of the automated features. The pre-programmed ones.
Yeah.
And turns out Aldrin tested one of the exact same ones that I did, and him and I got the exact same results of how it performed. So,
On the tracking?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the dynamic track and then the parallel track with Delatel. And I had my granddaughter just run the bases on a baseball diamond. And oh my God, if you sit and watch that thing on dynamic track, he is absolute 100% accurate. It is super aggressive,
Yeah.
overly aggressive, in how it tracks. But you put it in parallel track, and that was pretty impressive. What it does is you pick the position you want to start at, and then put it in that track, and then no matter what you do, she ran the diamond, so it went to first base, but then when she went to second, it just backed up. Then when she went to third, it sidetracked, and then when she went home, it forward tracked.
So it knows when it's flying sideways to not be as aggressive then.
I'm assuming it has to do with the use of the side sensors. So, more.
Hey, Dan looks a little better.
Holy crud, man. Look at this. He's sitting there feeding his face.
He's sitting
Oh,
up
man.
today.
So you're
Okay,
still
wait a
in the
minute.
hospital, huh?
Wait a
I'm
minute.
still here, man.
I gotta make him feel a little bad. See,
It's dinner time.
I
No.
got dinner waiting.
I'm over here eating citrus gelatin with broth, dude. Please don't do that to me.
How long are you going to be in there, Dan? How much longer?
I have no idea, man. This is the second hospital. They transferred me from the first one because they couldn't figure out what was wrong. So now I'm at the GI at TGH, and they still just did a whole bunch of tests today, and tomorrow I've got a whole bunch more lined up. So I don't know, man. I can't eat solid foods. This is even going to hurt in about probably 25 minutes or so. I'm going to be hurting.
Wow.
So
Well, that sucks.
yeah,
Sorry to get
Ugh.
such is life, man. It's unfair. I already learned that.
I was pretty fortunate there. Forbid I had an issue that I was breaking out these clear blisters, on my elbows, my hands, and all that. Turns out I have celiac, so I just can't have gluten.
That came from celiacs, huh?
Yeah, it's one of
Which
the outward symptoms that you can get.
Yeah, celiacs is like a leaky gut, I think is what it is. Isn't it?
No, actually, what it is your body effectively becomes allergic to the gluten in wheat products.
The protein.
And what it does is
Yeah.
it causes the cilia hairs to atrophy. And once it atrophies, then it doesn't absorb the nutrients, and then it goes in your gut and then rots and then gives you all kinds of problems. So I was fortunate I didn't have the gut problem. It presented itself with that outward thing.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. So that was,
I gave up.
worked out good for me. So I don't eat much bread anyhow. So
Yeah, I gave up grains, not because of any disease, just because of I just gave up all grains, all processed food. I'm on a pretty much a keto diet most of the time now.
Okay.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, in fact, almost all the time.
Still
In
just
fact,
one
now
meal a day?
now I'm doing the 1 meal a day thing. Yeah. I've been
Oh,
doing
boy,
that. Today was my 2 full weeks of 1 meal a day in ketosis.
You're still eating more than me. There you go.
Well, I eat a pretty
do just
I eat
the
a pretty
opposite.
I eat a pretty good meal, but I got to tell you what, I've been overweight. I've been fighting. I was a fat kid and always dieting my whole entire life. And
Oh goodness.
this
Yeah, look at that.
during the year of COVID, I stopped caring about what I ate and damn near ruined my health.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I got got a little mild fatty liver, and blood pressure's going. So I finally just put a stop to it, and now pretty much everything that is back to normal. I mean, I've pretty much reversed everything that was. I've lost 20-some pounds, and
Very good.
and I'm never. And the neat thing I found about this 1 meal a day thing is, in the past 2 weeks, I have not had one hungry minute where I even thought about
That's
food or
interesting.
cared. Yeah, this from a carb addict who can't pass up a bagel. Not even when it comes time to eat. I eat between 5 and 6 o'clock, and even when it becomes time to eat, it's kind of like half-heartedly going, well, I probably need to eat now, and
Wow.
works great. I never would have believed it.
So I got the FPV guys here. What's coming in the FPV world? DJI and everybody else has been releasing all these camera drones. So,
All right. Well, I'll give you one.
what's the news on the other side of the world?
Well, I was just telling Mitch about this in the chat. Is that Rotor Riot just released a 5-inch sub 250? So as soon as I saw the video, I got on Rotor Riot's website and it's still available. So I ordered it before it gets out of stock.
So
Those
it's
guys
not,
are over
it's
in
not
Dayton.
Tommy's. It's not Tommy's,
No,
right?
it's not Tommy's.
Not
This is
the
Rotor
not
Riot.
the 250. Oh, okay.
This is Rotor Riot's frame.
That's going to be the trend of these lighter weight, skinnier. They're not as robust. They're not going to take the beating, the bando bashing that a
No,
lot
but
of
you
the
need
bigger quads do.
you'll have to build them light enough, but then they can still take some abuse because of the weight loss.
Because of the weight. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, this little bugger, this little Roma 3, they make a 4 and a 5-inch version of this, and the problem is you can't get them. You try to find the frames, because I like to build them. I don't want to buy them, bind them fly. I want to build them.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Give me the frame. I want to put what I want to put in it, and so as soon as the parts came available, that's when I grabbed them up to build me another one of these, because I love this little thing. And when Chris, when you're flying them, you don't notice all that much difference between the way a bigger and a smaller quad flies.
The only
you
thing
might not
you
be able to
notice-
throw it as far.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I was going to say. The only thing you notice is the mass, is how it handles when you pitch it to do something. That's really all you notice. So, if you're real light and you don't have much mass, you're going to notice it when you try to, do a quick flip over something, or if you want to toss it over a big tree. The little ones don't have enough weight to carry. So that's where you notice it.
Yeah,
But doing a
but
more flow flight, kind of like the way Drew Camden flies, where everything is all tied together, as you're maneuvering, you will not notice the weight difference.
no,
As
and
long
they're
as the
agile.
performance
I
is
like
there.
I like the agility of the little quads, and I like the fact that you're using small batteries. You're using 650 and 850. I use 4S's. But you're using relatively small, lightweight batteries, inexpensive batteries.
The Rotor Riot frame, excuse me, the Rotor Riot frame, he was using an 850 4S. Well,
Really, on the 5-inch?
on the 5-inch, and he was right at the limit of the 250 gram. So
Wow.
I have 550 4S batteries that I've got for the Cinepro, and for the Gep RC Cinepro I got. So it's like, well, that's perfect, because I'm not going to do the Shark Bite system or the Caddx Vista or anything. I'm going to put analog in it, with super lightweight analog stuff, with a little 25 milliwatt transmitter. Well, I'll put one of those Insta360 Go's on it then. Now I've got my HD footage and I'm all done, and I'm still under 250.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So
yeah,
at least that's the thought. So
this
when
thing's
will
got the Caddx Vista in it,
mm-hmm.
and with an 850 on it, it's just a little, because I got a GPS,
Mm-hmm.
I got a lost quad finder.
Yep.
I mean, it's loaded up with all kinds of stuff. So
Yep.
with an 850, but with a 650 on this, it gets me about 3.5-4 minutes of flight. I'm sub 250.
Yep. Nice.
Not that I care. I don't care whether it's a sub or above 250 at this point. Ask me when we have to start sticking modules on it.
Yep.
But for right
Yeah,
now,
we've got about another 2 years on that. So
yeah.
So when's somebody gonna mimic the Army one? That little 3-inch helicopter thing.
Did you see that?
I'm surprised somebody hasn't tried to make that for the civilian side yet, or at least
they'll
mimic
sell it for $85,000, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think they'll make it with cheaper parts, but I'm surprised somebody hasn't really attempted to try to recreate that thing.
The one thing I want to do still, and I'm hoping INAV, gets a little more involved in this. They kind of cater more towards the full-size flight control boards, and they've got a list of boards that are compatible, officially compatible. And I would like to see them start getting more compatible with the small boards, with the little 20 by 20s, 25 millimeters, the 16 millimeter ones, to where you can build these tiny ones.
They are, Chris.
I haven't seen too many. I mean,
I'll tell you, I fly quite a few fixed wings, and I have 4, 5, 6 INAV FPV fixed wings now, and most of them have the new Maytech
the
F411 WSE. No, the 411 WSE. It's a tiny little board, and they have the target for that, and they keep adding targets for these things. They have a target for the Kakute F7.
Oh, so they did add that one. Okay, because last time I checked, that wasn't on there.
They've had that for a long time. That was one of my first INAV quads where I actually converted one of my 5-inch quads to INAV. It had a Kakute F7 in it, and pretty much all the Maytech controllers.
All the Maytech stuff fits. Yeah.
Even the Tyro 129s that I have.
What board does that have in it?
It has an Eachine board that I think it uses the Fury OSD target, but that has a barometer built in. Believe it or not, the cheap-ass Tyro 129 board comes with a barometer on it. So I put iNav on that thing. I put the BN880 compass up on a little pedestal, and it's a blast. It works great. It works just great.
Well, I want to do that because the 7-inch stuff is really, really stable, especially if you build them light. And I definitely want to convert one to iNav, put the down-facing sensors in it, for the optical flow.
Yeah, it'll handle
put the whole setup in it to where I can have acro mode, angle mode, and then fully stabilized mode with position hold, and then have a return to home switch, and it basically do everything a Mavic Mini can do, and in an FPV quad. So that's my goal. So.
And the new, this Pavel Spakowski is one of the iNav devs. And if you follow his channel,
I do.
A lot of great information. But they keep, unlike Betaflight, they're going to town. They keep adding features. They added the Kalman filters.
To
the latest version. They call them unicorn filters, but it's the same filter. They poured it over from EMU.
Who was it? Was it Bardwell used to call it? that unicorn dust or something that they put in all that. Yeah, I think it was Bardwell that said that the first time. I cracked up when I heard that.
And so I reflashed one of my iNav quads, and you don't
With the
need
updated
RPM
version.
filtering and everything, and it works good. It flies like a Betaflight quad. So
Yeah.
what's not to like other than and now I'm mounting the compasses sticking off the tail like a scorpion in the back,
Right.
instead of putting them up on
Yeah.
posts.
I don't have mine in here. They're out.
Yeah,
out
hang
in
on
the
a
living room.
second. Entertain the guys. I'll be right back. I'll go
Entertain
get
the
a couple
guys.
of these
Oh
things.
boy,
Yeah.
this ought to be fun.
I
All
find
right.
that with the
Well, here.
I find that with the okay.
Go ahead.
I find that with the XM pluses, it's better to always do the bunny ears than it is to lay them back. Whenever I do the XM pluses behind the frame, it always dumps out. So that's if you ever do XM plus, always do bunny ears and use zip ties and then shrink wrap them and bend them over.
Yeah. I
Trust
do
me,
Immortal
best
L is
There
what
you
I
go.
use. So what is it? Oh goodness, I just lost his name. Steel made that real popular and made a real good point about it. It says, look, the majority of the time you're either right side up or upside down.
Right.
And even when you're turning, the antenna is still virtually vertical. So
Right.
if you go vertical on that receiving antenna and go vertical on your transmitting antenna, you get the best of everything. When you go horizontal, if you go to the side of your transmitter, you're right on that null point of that transmitting antenna. And then if you turn the quad sideways, you go to the null point on the quad antenna, you just dropped out of the air.
Right.
So there it is. And I have had that happen. So
So anyway, Chris, this is a 7-inch Gep
there you go.
crocodile,
Mm-hmm.
and this is
Sub 250, yeah.
sub 250. Yeah,
Yeah,
each
sub
foot,
1250.
each arm is sub 250. Yeah, but this one, you see, I mounted the GPS and compass sticking back here, and it's got the full size air unit up in here.
Yep.
DJI air unit, and the antennas stick up. Looks like an insect coming at you with
There it is.
the antenna sticking up. But this thing will do pretty much. It doesn't do it as sophisticated as DJI because iNav is, DJI spent billions of dollars on their software. But
That's right.
you can put it in position hold and it'll just sit there.
Yep.
And you can push it around with the sticks just like you
Exactly.
can.
And
And you can hit
the
return
time,
to
that's what
home.
everybody wants.
Yeah, and you can hit return to home and it'll fly up to whatever altitude, turn around, fly home, turn around and lands all by itself. Or you throw that magic switch into acro. and
Absolutely.
It's Betaflight. You don't know
Yeah.
any difference. You're flying, and then if you get in trouble, you have an oh shit switch.
That's
Return to
right.
home. You hit it, thing just does the same thing, flips back over, and away it goes.
Absolutely.
Mitch, have you considered putting a servo on your camera on the front so you can aim it up and down using your rollers?
I thought about that, but
Okay, the problem with doing a servo is that
Mhm.
they hunt. No matter how good a servo they are, they tend to
you're going to
hunt.
get a little.
That's right. You'll
little
get the
jitter.
vibration.
Yeah.
The better way to do it is take one of those little tiny micro servos and put a jack screw on it to your arm. So that
Mhm.
way, and then take the stopper out of the servo to
Mhm.
where you can pull it one way or pull it the other way, and then the
Right.
servo will just keep spinning in that direction at that speed. And what
Right.
it does then, you've got the jack screw to tilt the camera down slowly.
Ah, look
And
at
then
this guy.
it won't get the jitter because it's on a jack screw.
Yeah,
So,
personally, for an FPV quad, not trying to be a camera drone.
I get it, but it's nice to be able to change your like. Let's say you don't want to walk over to your quad because you're lazy as hell, like some of us are. And you're like, I'm just gonna adjust it on my controller real quick. Oh, that's perfect. And then take off, So
yeah, now that's a great idea as far as doing that, because now you've got it on a jack screw
right.
where you can just say,
Well-
okay, I need a little more up tilt. And
Right.
now you're set.
So that's
It's
what was
just-
happening with me when I chase cars and do
Mhm.
chases. I
Yep.
realized that in the middle of it, I'm like, dude, I don't have enough angle, or
Or
then
you
I
got
gotta bring
too
the quad
much.
all the way back, and then I gotta
Yeah.
land it, and then the car's already made its run, and I'm like, oh, jeez,
right.
all right, well. So
That's right.
there's definitely situations where it's nice to be able to have that.
Hmm Yeah, you can do that with a micro servo on a jack screw.
Right.
You just have to take the stoppers out of the servo to where it does, and then you have to take the pot out of it, I think, as well, because when you
Yeah, you have to take the
it'll
pot
try
out.
to return.
Yeah,
Right,
you want it to be
okay.
able to go continuously in either
Right,
direction.
in either direction. You
Yeah.
want to
Right.
manually control its rotation. So that way, if
Okay.
you want it to go slow, you pull it a little bit and it'll just turn real slow, and that'll tilt your camera real slow. And then when you let go
Sure.
of it, it stops.
Right.
Or you can buy a gimbal, stick it on the front. You know,
Well,
iNav will
I tell you
control,
what.
has camera control, has gimbal control stuff built into it in
Yes.
iNav.
Not,
Yes. So,
not real good for chasing when you're doing FPV though, trying to control the gimbal and
No,
fly.
I don't have any desire. Although that's today. Never say never.
Right.
Tomorrow I might wake up and say, "Damn, you know what I want to do today more than anything in the world? Put a servo on my camera."
yeah.
Yeah.
But on a 7-inch, you got more than enough room to do it.
Yeah, this
Well-
is the Tyro 129.
Yeah.
That cheap ass
For the
$129
money, that is a
kit.
heck of a frame.
And it's you see on this one, since it's a racing style frame,
Yep.
bottom mount battery, tiny little frame in the center.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to cram the DJI Vista in here. I got the lost quad finder down here.
Yep.
The GPS is sitting up on top of the mast. Got a camera mount, everything,
And it all
everything
works.
in it, and it all works, and it lands by itself, and
That's
it doesn't
super
fly
cool.
half bad. It doesn't fly half bad either, and it's running iNav. Again, it was a flight controller, had the barometer already in it.
Yeah.
Now I did buy a couple of these little tiny barometer boards that work on the I2C bus, and I tried one and got it working, but every quad I've ever put or flight controller I've ever put on iNav already had a built-in.
Yeah.
built
See,
in
the one problem
barometer.
with using the I2 or I2C or however they want to say I2C bus, I haven't figured out, and I just haven't researched it enough. But as I understand it, you can only put one item on it. Where, like, if you do an optical flow sensor and you need a barometer and you need some other sensors, maybe like an airspeed sensor or something, they all need that same bus. And I don't know if it will allow you to put more than one on it.
It will. They have what they, and I'm not an expert on it, but they have what they call pull down resistors that
Okay.
adjust the voltage on the thing. And I actually got two. I got two. I haven't tried more than two, but I got a magnetometer and a barometer to work on the same bus, because it is a bus. It is a.
It's not a serial
designed.
thing.
No, it's not serial. It's designed to have a whole bunch of things plugged into it, just like
Okay.
any other type of bus.
Okay.
The Cube flight controller.
Yeah.
That runs Ardu pilot software.
Right. And they've got they got the carrier where they've got multiple inputs for.
Yeah, and it's got and I don't know. Do the intelligent people call it I2C and the dummies call it I2C, or is it the other way around? Whichever way whichever way the intelligent people call it, that's the way I want to call it. I think legitimately it's I2C.
Yeah,
But,
I think that's how it's written. So
But a lot of people call it I2C, and
yep.
that's the limit of what I know about it, other than it is a bus, and I've plugged shit in and it works, because every time on iNav, when you hook up the magnetometer, you hook it to the I2C bus. It has two connections, SDA and SCL.
Right.
SDA, the DA means data, and the
Okay.
CL means clock. So you
Right.
have SCL is clock, and if you mix the two, it won't work. But so there's 6 wires coming out of this BN880.
Right.
There's 2 for the
fact,
GPS.
Matter of
which
fact,
is
I got
a-
mine right there. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
2 for the GPS that goes to a UART, and
Right.
two for the I2C, which goes to the SDA and the SCL, and the other 2 are power.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm very busy right now. Everybody keeps popping in on me.
Oh,
So,
That's
Mitch,
all right.
you've been shopping, Mitch. So what's harder to find, physical parts or things with chips in them right now?
well, I haven't found. I found that anytime anybody goes on YouTube and makes a video, says you need to buy this. Good luck finding it because they're nowhere to be found.
I have experienced having a hard time finding flight controllers right now.
I just, I go to race day quads, and I like the controller that I'm using in my new little wherever it is. The new little Roma L3 build is the, and this is the flight controller I used in Carlos's build. It's the let me make this a little bigger so you can see it. It's the Mamba. I always had great luck with the diatone boards, but this is the Mamba Mini F722.
Okay.
And it's an incredible board. It comes mounted to this plastic in the box.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a little 20 by 20 stack. It's a 45 amp ESC, BL Heli 32 ESC.
Okay.
Okay. It's the F7 flight controller. It has like 6 UARTs. It has the I2C. The only thing it doesn't have is a barometer because it's so tiny. I don't think they had room.
Yeah, there's not enough room for it. Yeah.
But it's the one that I put in Carlos's new quad, and it's like $69. You know.
Yeah.
Which
for the whole stack, huh?
What's that?
For the whole stack.
Yeah, the whole stack, ESCs and everything.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I keep wondering with the chip shortage, how that's going to impact the drone guys. Because one would think they would be way down on the food list compared to, NVIDIA and Asus and HP and Dell and Intel and all of those guys and getting chips.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of chip. The chips that the drone manufacturers are using are ASICs. Application specific integrated circuits. These are, for example, all of DJI's video shit that goes in their FPV system, that goes in their air units and in the Vistas, is a proprietary ASIC that they make. And if Caddx is building the Vistas, they have to use that ASIC that's more than likely supplied by DJI. From what I understand.
Even Intel is reporting getting some of the substrate stuff to even put the chips on is getting hard to get right now. And there's actually a shortage of display drivers, which are like little $1 chips that are in like every video device on the planet.
You wonder how much of this stuff isn't. I'm not wanting to be a conspiracy theorist, but you all remember the gas shortage back in the 70s?
Yeah,
absolutely. So. I remember.
Yeah, there really wasn't any shortage of gas. That
was all collusion. Yeah,
it was all a hoax, all to drive the prices up and panic the people. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is all being overblown because somehow DJI is still managing to sell anybody who wants one a brand new drone. Think about it. You can, can you get a brand new Air 2S? Of course, they got them in stock at Best Buy over here. So, video cards, that's another story. I don't know what the deal is with video cards other than
that's
Bitcoin.
A lot more of the substrate problems they're running into for availability. So,
I mean, there's been 3 plants in the world that have gone down. 2 of them burned down, which is Japan, which is what impacted the auto industry. And that snowstorm in Texas shut down that Samsung plant. And I'm still not sure that thing is back online. And they literally made all of the controller chips for like 80% of Samsung's hard drives. When that thing shut down.
We're just going to have to get by with our ancient and old and decrepit 6-month-old electronic shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go worse on that. I have an old KK2 mini board.
Ooh.
And it's brand spanking new in the box still.
KKK, wow.
And it's already flashed to the newest version of software that's available for it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's
We'll
funny?
survive.
It actually works. My very first quad that I built as a quad was built out of wood. It was a flight test backbone V-tail.
Wow.
And I scratch built it. And I put a KK2 mini board in it, put 20 amp ESCs on it, put 2205, 2300 kV motors with 6-inch props, flew it on 3S, and I put a run cam split V1 in it for recording and for the camera, and that thing flew great. And I flew the tar out of that thing. Can't tell you how many arms I broke because I lost count, but but it flew really good. I mean, on that with that board. The only thing you couldn't do with it is, without doing some fancy finagling and some of the software, was you couldn't pull the throttle all the way down. Like if you wanted to do a power loop or if you wanted to roll or something and you wanted to hit it, pull back real quick. If you pulled all the way back, the motor stopped.
Yeah, you didn't have
Wow.
You didn't have air mode back.
No,
in
there is no air mode. So
Funny. That's how the Solo flies, because it doesn't have air mode.
does the
You
Solo
know,
even
when you
fly?
say that, because my first FPV bird that actually had a camera built into it was the Bugs 3. Bug 6.
Okay.
And flew that, and then we started faking acro. And it was basically stalls and falls, but it was still pretty fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you just say stalls and falls, Ed?
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's what
I never faked acro. I suppose I should try that. I'm going to take my stabilized quad out and fake acro and see what happens. Huh.
So
Well,
that's why. So that's why
wanna
you
know
carry
what
the
it's-
duct tape, Doc.
Yeah,
In
if
the-
you
in the
know what
box?
it's like, what you do is you take a regular FPV quad out, punch up real high, and then disarm it. And then before it hits the ground, rearm it and fly it away.
Rearm?
Now, I never did that, Doc. But what we would do, and it worked best with wind, because if you're with the wind, but you throw it up and you're still level, and then you just drop the throttle all the way.
Yep.
Drop
Now-
the throttle all the way, and then you twist and turn whatever you want to do.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wouldn't the stabilization still try to activate? Because technically, it's stabilized when you.
You got to
Okay.
catch it right though.
So when you activate it, though, isn't it still like under, even stabilized, like with the Bugs 3s, doesn't it still have almost like a 10% curve on it just when you arm it?
All I know is it worked. I did rolls and I did flips with it without
That's
hitting
cool.
the damn stump.
The button? Interesting. Oh, I'll have to try that. I'm going to break my Bugs 3 out from 4 years ago and see what happens.
Just-
Break
it up
is the
real
operative
high.
word. Yeah.
That's good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, matter of fact, you know what? I still have that frame.
Do you really? Did you see the one that Pavel Spakowski
There you
did?
go.
A wooden frame. Do you see
Check
the
it out,
wooden
guys.
frame? Look at that
See.
thing.
Let's see here. Which way?
What the hell?
This
It's
way.
like a
Here we
little
go.
person.
I'll
This-
give you this, Chris. You've got the strangest look. Some of the strangest looking quads I've ever seen.
This
I
is
gave you that.
this is a backbone. This is the format they did. Basically,
Wow.
it was like a what do you call it? Where the front are a dead cat style.
Did the
Okay.
back arms unfold? Did they
but-
pull out at least?
No, the back arms are rigid. But what I did
Oh, no
was
kidding.
these are
Wow.
the motor mounts. So the motors are mounted like this.
Oh, sideways like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
mounted
that's
sideways.
weird.
The reason
That's
why
strange.
they did this was because this is a variation on a tricopter. So to get around not having a mechanical servo back here, you put the two motors at angles. So it gets, instead of pivoting on the center point of the quad here, it pivots in between the front motors. So it spins around the nose
That's
instead
so
of
weird,
around the
man.
center.
It's almost like a collective pitch setup. It's really weird.
Yeah, it kind of is. So
That's like
it
a
has that same
V-tail
feel.
airplane.
Yes.
Right.
Like a V-tail airplane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And it flew great. The only thing you had to be careful of was that when you rolled into a turn and then went through the turn to give it yaw, it would tend to roll out of the turn because the yaw was on, I think it was this motor. So it was tending to, well, no, it was on this motor. So it was tending to want to right the quad as it went around the turn. So you'd always have to feed more roll into it as you turn than you would on a normal quad. That was that was the difference.
Did you ever pull a smooth one off, or did they all look like wonky and wobbly?
No, I could get it to do it. It was just, you just couldn't pull the throttle all the way down. You had to pull it down, but keep some power in. So just to keep the motors working.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, this flew great. I mean, I really love this thing. It weighed 750 grams, you know. I mean, it was heavy.
Fat
but it
girl.
flew really nice with 6-inch props. So,
but that'd be pretty good for like doing circles and keeping the nose on your target for video.
Oh yeah, it was very good for that. I mean, you know, to go up to something and just make a flat turn around it, you can just keep the camera right on it. It was really nice for that.
Doc and his BBQs, man, his big beautiful quads. What are we gonna do with you, man?
Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. All right. Well, let me get an ugly one. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Hang on. I got to dig an ugly one. It sits underneath the bed here. Hold on.
Who's the cat on the right?
So we're gonna see an FUQ
up in the corner. Quad? That's Rod.
Come here, you.
Hi, Ed.
Hot Rod.
I'm your neighbor down the road.
Hot Rod from Daytona.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry.
You met Rod. You didn't. You know, when we met him in person, he had the hat on. He doesn't look so different without the hat.
I didn't know who it was.
He was the one flying with Art all the time, Mr. Corvette.
No, I know who he is now.
Mr. I went and hold on, Mr. I went and got burgers and didn't ask anybody if they wanted anything or not. Gee, Hot Rod, I would have loved the burger, man.
I got steak and taters waiting, so yeah.
You know something, Chris? You're the only one here that isn't in Florida, actually.
Hey, you got a point. Yeah.
You are, yeah.
I live in the desert. Yeah,
we're all in Florida.
All right. Are you guys familiar with this particular quad? This one.
That's cute.
This is for a flight test. This is a Gremlin. Okay. And I bought this when it first came out. It was like $20 for the frame. It's made out of W10. Basically, it's Delrin sheet that they laser cut and then put a vinyl sticker over it for the colors because they came in either gray or red. Well, the tiny motors weren't real good yet. Okay. So this has been hanging on the wall. The tiny motors have gotten real good now. So this is going to be getting built here soon. But this was built for 2 to 4S, depending on what KV motors you ran on it. The biggest props you can run on it are 2 1/4 inch prop. So I don't know what millimeter that is off the top of my head. These are 2.5 on it right now, and they just hit the frame. So you can't run 2.5 inch props on it. 2-inch props, the only thing available back then when it first came out was the gem fans. And they had all kinds of vibration problems, you know, with those props. They were horrible.
Yeah.
Those big paddle props. So now we've got some really good small props out for these things. Works real good. But I love the layout. I love the look of the frame. I mean, if you look, I don't know how good that's going to show up. This thing's got a little razor back up here, you know, right dead center.
I see that.
Hold on, I'll make you bigger here.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Now I don't think I'm going to be able to get it in focus.
So we should call it stripes then. Okay. Stripes.
Yeah, so this thing's got the little razor back, you know, it was called the Flight Test 4. Okay. So I decided, well, you know what? I like the look of that, but I need it in a bigger frame. Well, nobody made it. I even contacted Josh to see if they would make a 5 or 6 inch version, and I never got a reply back. So I made my own.
Oh, God.
This is the Warthog. Okay.
Oh, my criminy.
Sounds like Doc. Yep.
I don't want to insult you, but that is without a doubt the ugliest thing I have ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty damn ugly.
You know what's funny? This thing, the only thing that I had a problem with was when I designed it, I took measurements off the internet for the size of a 4S battery, right? Well, then I got a killer deal on some China Hobby Line 4S batteries. They were bigger, longer than the standard 4S batteries.
Oh, no.
So when I stuck them in here, it moved the center of gravity back. So when you'd flip this thing, when it would try to stop here, it would go, and it had all that ass. So that's the only thing you had to be careful of.
It looks like something from the Jetsons.
It does a little bit, but when you look at, but when you compare it, if you look at the,
It looks
if you look at
huge.
the frame,
It's the same.
I don't know.
it's
I think
that
you need
same frame. I just scaled it up.
I think you need to paint some teeth on it and put a little dorsal fin on it, and it'll look like a little flying shark.
Oh well, it's got its razor back.
I was thinking of the baby shark song.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now, when I
everybody.
was flying it, I actually had eyeballs, those little cheap eyeballs you can get. I actually put them on both sides.
Time out,
Time out.
everybody. Time out.
What's up?
Important event about to happen. Everybody.
Autel's releasing their mini.
No,
Oh,
Carlos.
Lord, the
woke up.
prick is here.
Hey, Carlos.
Ed's
Good
having a
morning.
baby. Oh,
Hey, now Chris
Sorry,
is the
Mitch.
only one from not from Florida.
I
Now we got Carlos from Rhode Island.
just got up. Oh,
Carlos, man, you missed the whole show. It was all about you in the beginning.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
yeah.
No,
Hey,
it
lazy
was.
bum.
I tried to call you, and I got your voicemail, and I'm talking about your quad, showing the videos about your quad, all this shit, and you weren't even here.
And it
I
flew great
apologize.
too. You should have seen it go through the
You
bando.
should have seen it,
all right.
man. Yeah, right up to the time when I actually flew it through the window of the community center and
As long
wrecked
as you
it.
got it
yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah.
Oh goodness.
I set my clock and it
First
didn't
of all,
work.
Carlos talks about me being old all the time, but he's the prick that was taking a nap.
Yeah. Well, Carlos started a diet too, so we'll give it to him today. He's probably trying to get used to this.
Oh, want to lose that Dan weight, huh?
He decided to go on the keto thing after listening to me rave about it for a while. So
Gonna try
if
this
he
low
dies,
carb.
it's not my fault. Disclaimer.
I
Wait a
agree.
minute.
I agree.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Where is it?
Take
Where is
full
it? There.
responsibility.
Now,
No purchase necessary. Offer valid at participating locations.
There
Void
it
where
is.
prohibited. No animals are harmed during the production of this sound bird. Subject to change without notice. Side effects include dry mouth, occasional pig snort or two, sore stomach, teary eyes, achy jaws, and whatever tingles well. Laughing heart.
That's good.
Okay, that's my disclaimer.
all right,
First
so
of all,
I did.
find it hard to believe that Carlos is just going to eat one time a day.
No, he's
No,
not doing
no,
he's
no.
not doing the OMAD thing. He's doing the keto
It's-
thing, the low carb dieting. Low carb
It's
dieting.
interesting how keto works. I did keto, so it really depends on what aspect you're hitting this from. Because the version of keto I did means you eat a lot of fat, and the reason
Yeah,
for that is
exactly.
you're retuning your body to focus on fat content as opposed to carbohydrates, sugars, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I assume that's what you're doing then, Carlos. You're doing that same
Yeah.
thing.
Basically,
It
Yeah,
works.
that's what I'm
just
doing. Your
meats.
diet is
Okay.
your diet is 60 to 70% of your calories are from fat.
Right.
About 20-25%
Yes.
from protein, and maybe 5% or less from carbohydrates. And you
Okay.
get
Now-
into ketosis, where you
I was going to
actually
say, did
you're
you
not
focus on
burning
getting
sugar.
into ketosis? Right.
I'm in ketosis
Not,
now.
I'm talking about Carlos. Has
Oh
he
yeah,
have
this
you made
is
the
first
focus on
day
ketosis?
one. Day
No,
one.
this is-
Carlos,
36 hours. Basically
Okay.
Yeah.
into it. 4 meals.
Yeah.
My last 4 meals.
he's
Just-
got away, and he
just-
has to get through the keto flu, which is the
Yep.
first week of
Weak.
your body
Absolutely.
adjusting to it. And,
I have
Oh
to
my
get used
God.
to everybody's eating bread and
Yeah.
apple pie.
but
and
that won't
cookies,
bother
and
you after a while. It won't
Well, I
bother
just
you.
don't pay attention.
Carlos, if you feel bad, for an entire 2 weeks now, I've had nothing but broth and tea.
There you go.
I hear you.
But it's a fascinating subject, and back when Atkins first kind of came up with it, he
Oh, my
vilified
God.
him. But turns out that he was pretty much right about everything, and now there's been a lot of studies, even though the government still won't admit it, because
It
let's
works
face
good
it,
for
too
some
many
people.
too many people's reputations and livelihoods are vested in the calories in, calories out, high carbohydrate deal, because you got the food industries, you got the doctors, you got these people aren't going to admit, oh, you know what I've been teaching for the last 40 years? Well, never mind. They're not going to do that.
No.
You know,
Right.
remember that book that I wrote that I got the Nobel Prize for? Well, it's
there you go.
wrong, but never mind. So it takes generations of people
Yep.
that have to die before the conventional wisdom changes. And
It's just like the eggs are good, eggs are bad,
Exactly.
eggs are good,
Yeah.
eggs are
exactly.
Protein,
See,
baby.
I had to learn a little different way to eat because I have a type 1 diabetic daughter, and her basic diet is actually quite simple. It's 2 parts protein, 1 part carbohydrate, no matter what it is. And the better way to eat that is 5 times a day. So you just don't eat a big meal, you eat 5 smaller meals.
Right.
Yeah.
And it speeds your metabolism up. I mean, the highest weight I got up to was almost 240 pounds. The lowest weight I got down to, which I wasn't real healthy at that, but because I was working nights at the time too, but I got down to 167 pounds, and that wasn't real healthy. So right now I'm about 180, and I'm pretty happy with that. But that's how I eat. So,
Well,
and it works.
everybody,
I would be really fat at 167.
Yeah, everybody's different, and there. I don't really want to turn this into a diet show.
No,
But
it's just-
sometime maybe we ought to get together and have a online discussion, because
Oh yeah.
the one basic truth is that there are different people are different, and what might be the perfect right diet
That's
for
right.
one person may be
That's right.
exactly the wrong diet for another, and the keto movement is basically for people who are fat. In other words, somebody who can eat anything and never gets fat.
Yep.
Is
I have a
doing
few friends like
perfect, perfect, yeah, doing perfect the way they are.
I used to be that way.
They have. It turns out the reason for that is they are highly insulin sensitive, which means that they don't need to generate a lot of insulin for the insulin to be able to affect the cells and do its work. The people who get fat and sick and diabetic, they're insulin insensitive. They have hyperinsulinemia, and no matter how much insulin the body makes, it's not enough to do the job.
Right.
So, but insulin causes fat to be stored in the fat cells, among a bunch of other things too. So the goal of a ketogenic diet is to lower the insulin levels as much as possible, and turn the body from a sugar-fueled organism into a
fat
ketone
fueled.
or fat-fueled organism.
Yep.
And that's the way we were built in the first place, because the fat fueling part is what the body does during the periods of famine, when there's no food. You've stored all this fuel away for a reason. The mechanism of letting you take the fuel out of the tank and run it in the motor is the fat burning thing. So
I don't know how long I'd last, bro, because I've been in here 10 days now, and I've lost 37 pounds since I've been here. So I'm like 165 pounds down now in a year.
Wow.
So
well, but that's terrific. That's terrific.
Certainly no grizzly bear that can hibernate. I think after 2.5 weeks of not eating, I'm going to die. Pretty sure I'm just going to shrivel up into a raisin and die, dude.
So Dan, you lost 37 pounds in how much time?
Yeah, in like 10 days since I've been here.
That's crazy. That's too much.
Yeah,
that's what I told them, but
that's almost impossible.
That water weight.
If you subscribe to the, because 3,500 calories is a pound.
Yeah.
So if you lose a pound a day, that means you have to be burning 3,500 more calories than you're eating if you subscribe to the calories in, calories out, which is nonsense anyway.
You have special nurses, Dan, over there?
No, man. I'm still. Hold up now, God damn it! All right. So I'm still walking 6 miles a day, even in the hospital. So I wear my little thing to make sure I'm keeping up with my. All right, 6 miles in the hospital, man. I trek these halls. They hate it. I am so annoying to the nurses. I just move a lot.
I can imagine.
Anyway, with that being said, okay, I walk like crazy, but it's weird because I take water pills every day, so there's no extra water content in my body other than what's necessary. So when I'm losing this kind of weight, I'm telling the nurse, like, this really can't be healthy, and they're like, well, you can't unfortunately be off clear liquids because we have to keep running these tests. And you can't eat hard stuff because every time you do, you are in serious pain for 15 hours. So I'm just stuck with having to eat basically just broth, and it's amazing how when you're only putting water in your body, basically, how fast the body goes, oh, I need to eat something. What do I eat? Fat, so to lose that kind of weight that quickly, I don't think can be healthy. And I've tried to explain that to them numerous times, and they say I'm not at an unhealthy weight yet, so we can keep going with this.
Look, I'm not saying you're at an unhealthy weight. I'm just talking about the rapidity of the rapidness of how quick you're losing.
I agree. I agree, man.
And meanwhile, Carlos is eating. Carlos is eating right.
I'm late on my meal too. Should have focused an hour ago.
Oh man.
No, Dan, stand up real quick and let's see if you fall over.
Oh goodness.
Actually, Dan,
as long as you weigh more than Ed, you're good. You're okay.
You remind me of those guys on Naked and Afraid. Don't they lose weight like that?
I don't know. I just
2 or
know
3
that
weeks?
I showed up here at a fairly decent weight still that was healthy, and then I dropped it really fast. So
You'll get it back.
Well, I don't want it back, but I also don't want to do it unhealthy either. I still want to get down to
not
like
a good way.
220.
Not a good way.
Yeah.
I can't fathom that. Well, you're how tall are you?
I'm 5'11", a good build because I'm just a big guy anyways. I have a huge build, so for me, 220 is about average. It would be a good build.
220 is good for you, brother.
It is. It is. Yeah.
See, because I'm 6'1", I'm at 180, so
that's good weight.
I powerlifted for like 10 years straight, so I have a huge build, and you can see it now. When I take my shirt off, I can start seeing my old build. It's still there. If I started to weight lift, I would get huge again really quickly. So I'm at this thing where I'm like, in high school, I was 225, right? And leaving high school, I was 250, but I was also a monster. If I showed you my high school pictures, leaving high school, I was just a brick.
Were you lifting weights?
House, man. Yeah, big time, heavy.
Well, that's what happens
yeah.
once you stop lifting weights. It just
the
problem you're definitely in the big boned territory.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's the issue is that I have a 56-inch chest band even without the weight, so I'm still a big dude. You know, I have a great body, like weightlifter's body. I've torn so much muscle now in my stomach and my mesenteric tissue that I couldn't lift like I used to. I'd never be the same guy again. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
At 6 foot, I can tell you the Army would tell you 205.
Yeah.
Really, that heavy? I think what Chris said, 180, 185, 190.
God, I'm basically a skinny little guy. My ideal weight at 5'10" is 150 pounds.
Yeah,
mine would be about 160.
That to me, I'm like Ed. I mean, and a very, very thin bone, thin wrist. You know, very light, small frame. And when I gain weight, it's all on my belly and everything else. My legs my legs always look like chicken legs. But I had gotten up to last year about 185 with this, which is like 35 pounds overweight for me because of this COVID. Eating junk. My blood pressure became a problem. You know, I'm not a kid. You guys are all kids. Even you, Chris. You're a kid.
Well, I can't say I'm a kid.
Well, I'm almost 60, guys. Come on.
Well, you're still a kid, man. You know, I got my son is 50, for God's sakes. I mean, you know.
Wow, you are old.
And you guys can join me. You guys can join me on May the 7th, which is my birthday, which is rapidly
approaching.
Getting close, yeah.
You need to do a birthday stream, man.
I want to do a birthday stream. It'd be my 74th.
Oh, very 74th.
Good. Yeah.
See, now, Matt, you're not old enough for me to be your son.
No, that's for sure. Neither you nor Chris. Yeah.
Nope.
Or Carlos, for that matter. Carlos,
I don't know.
Close. I could, you know, I mean, if I was an active teenager, Carlos, it's possible. I could be Danny's grandfather almost.
Yeah.
30, 34. Come on now.
Wait a minute. He can be my son. My son is 33.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I got a 50-year-old. My son is almost old enough could be your father, Dan. So.
Yeah. My oldest daughter's 34. So.
Yeah, you go. Same thing.
All right.
I have a 33-year-old and a 23-year-old.
Hey, give me the credit. I'm starting to feel old. All right, I got white hair in my goatee now. I'm feeling old.
Wait a minute. Come on, guys.
See, that's the amazing thing that I don't understand about me. I'm 74 years old. Okay, here's the back shot here. This is not colored.
That's a yarmulke.
No, it's here. Let me make it big here
Reverse
so you guys can see this. this is not colored. I do not dye my hair, and that, you know,
You
my
don't
beard,
dye. You don't dye your hairs.
What's left? What's
my
left.
hair, yeah. Well, my beard is still got some black in it, but I mean, it's been
okay.
30 years. It's been like that.
Mitch, take your earphones off. Let's get that back shot again. I just want to point something out. Okay, you ready for this?
You're gonna make fun of me?
No, but I will tell you who you look exactly like from the back.
I'll tell you. I know who you're gonna call.
Yeah?
The puppet.
No.
Right there. The puppet.
No.
There he is.
Captain Picard had that exact same. Just the big, huge forehead and then a wrap around.
Awesome.
This is my hero right here. I try to be like Walter in every way.
It's funny how you happen to have that particular bobblehead.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, this is
awesome.
I patterned my life after Walter. My kids bought me this. My son bought
Damn,
me this.
now I need to get one of those and put a little nameplate on it that says Mitch.
Mitch's twin.
That's too good.
Hey, changing the subject.
And it used to talk too. I mean, it has a button on it. It doesn't work anymore, but you used to push the button and he'd swear or do something, you know, get off my lawn kind of thing, you know.
Oh yeah.
So listen, you guys have heard of the name Drone Psyche?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Charlie.
Name is Charlie Mafia.
Yeah. Did you guys go fly Coney yet?
No, but he purchased his first ready-to-fly kit. He's gonna get into FPV.
Nice.
Another convert to the dock.
Another to the dark side. Yeah, I mean, look at Michael Blade. Michael Blade even changed his channel name, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
to
he
Michael
did.
Blade's FPV. Now,
Finally,
you know.
finally, all these guys that have been flying GPS forever, I'm like, dude, you're missing out, man. And then the DJI drone came out, and everybody's like, oh, I have to fly FPV now.
I'll throw you another one that's converting to the dock side. Lloyd Mendenhall.
No.
Lloyd?
Yeah.
Lloyd?
Yeah. Lloyd's been
When
talking
I
about
went
it.
up and flew with him, it was the first time he'd ever actually put a set of FPV goggles on.
Yep.
And he was thoroughly enamored with it and says,
Yes.
I got to do this. So, yeah, he went out. He
Good
actually,
job.
what was it, yesterday or Saturday? Saturday or Sunday, he actually purchased a set of HD3 Fat Sharks
Nice.
with the
Oh, no
Forge
kidding.
module.
Yeah.
And he's got the batteries there, so he's just waiting for the quad to show up. And I've got to make him up a set of antennas and send him some antennas for it, and he'll be all set.
Yeah, I can quit being the bad guy now, just pushing FPV on everybody. Good, I get to take a break finally.
No,
Yeah.
we're all,
No,
we're
I
all
pushed
doing it.
What kind of trans?
I tell all the camera bird guys, I'm like, look, man, you got to try FPV. You'll never feel more like a bird.
Yes.
The freedom that FPV gives in flight
Amazing.
is second to none.
Yes.
So it's second
Finally.
to none.
Well, Chris, for me, having been an RC guy all my life,
Yep, same here.
you know, airplane. Yeah, this is a just an absolute natural extension.
Yeah.
Because you know I was born with a transmitter in my hand, I think, and you know it's
Well,
fact
yours
that
was yours was reescapement. So let's just kind of
the fact, but the fact that these transmitters today are pretty much based on the Futaba and the JR transmitters.
Yeah, Futaba,
I just feel like this is, you know, I can't use those new game style ones, but this to me is what a radio is supposed to feel like, you know.
I'm so used to that. Yeah.
That's why Nick needs punch cards to program, right? You can't do it on a keyboard. That's why you need punch cards to program.
Punch
you can't do it on a keyboard.
No, we're talking wire wrap. We're talking before punch cards. We're talking wire wrap programming. Yeah.
Yeah, it was discrete component installs. Yes.
we were doing some soldering last week. I was, building the quad and showing guys how to solder. And was it Ed that made the comment about how I was soldering the lug nuts on the chariots in ancient Greece or something like that?
I don't know if I'm responsible for that. I remember somebody saying something about that, but I don't remember it me saying.
All right, should we all show Carlos his quad flying?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to ask Chris, what transmitter is Lloyd going to use?
He is going to have a Fly Sky transmitter. I think it's going to be the
Nirvana style one.
Yeah, the X6B, the
Looks
square
like an
one.
X-Lite. Oh, it's a square one.
It's the square one. So that's what he's going to have.
I'm actually going to dip here, guys, so I can lay down for a bit, but
All
it's
right,
been
man.
fun.
All
Thank
right, well,
you.
good.
It's been
Good
fun.
to see you,
some
man.
rest,
I'm
buddy.
glad you made it in.
Take it
Got
easy, Skinny.
Take it easy, Dan. Feel
Pew,
better,
pew,
bro.
pew. Pew, pew, pew.
All right, I'll
here
throw
we
you a
go.
bone, guys, before you put his video up. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I flew what is considered FPV now. I flew it in 1985. I flew a fixed wing aircraft that had a black and
With a
white
camera.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't do it. We did it in the 90s. We started mounting cameras, little cameras on things, but the video was horrible.
Yeah.
But
this was not.
You did a two-man flight. You showed us one time.
You did it with a TV screen. We used to drag a TV set, like a 24-inch TV set out to the field. You did
This
with
guy
goggles?
that built it, the gentleman that built it, his name was Alan Cocconi. He's still around, and it had an early version of an LCD screen on top of the craft transmitter that he was using, and it had a separate receiver. The camera was about that square and about that long inside the left wing of the airplane, because the nitro fuel exhaust came out the right wing. So that's where he put it. And it had an early version of a flight controller. Basically, it was an autopilot, to where if you got the airplane in a weird attitude, all you had to do was just let go of it and it would right itself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive for back then.
Carlos, you ready?
There you go, Carlos.
I am.
All right, I'm gonna make it big.
Go for it.
Mugs.
Whoops, that's not what I
give him
wanted
the
to do.
full Monty.
Yeah, I want to give you the whole show here. There we go. All right, so this, hang on a second here. This is,
Looks like a 7 or 8 o'clock sky.
okay, now yeah, this is early this morning. This is like 7:30 this morning, 8 o'clock. Look at the, up in the upper left, that's the FPV view. And I set it down, and the first thing I wanted to do was make sure it was at 800 milliwatts. So you'll see me actually going through the
smart audio
setup. Yeah, see it? Set it to 800.
What do I see on the top right of the screen next to the word stream?
That's a picture, knucklehead.
No, that's
left.
my old guy face and cigar. That's
okay.
StreamYard is putting that in there. Yeah.
I'm over here trying to rub it out, and it won't come out.
Well, you're trying to rub one out. You say, what was that?
Yeah.
Wait till after the stream.
That's a TMI there.
Crowd here, boy, I tell you.
Okay, so now watch when I arm it. You'll see it says F3 800. See?
Well, I like that.
So we got 800 milliwatts. Now, I got rid of almost all the noise. There's still a tiny little bit of noise up in the sky, but certainly not anything that makes it unflyable. It looks, the actual video feed looked great flying it. Colors were good.
Where are you?
I'm sitting in the corner of the parking lot in front of the truck. Right? Yeah, you'll see.
By the Agua, I see it.
Yeah, this was a flight just to fly around and maybe get a little height and some distance. And
to be honest with you, do you think maybe the camera is a little oversaturated and that's why some of that interference is coming in there?
No. It might be, if I tried a different channel, it might be better. I didn't feel like fooling with it, but I think it's as good as it's going to get right now. I did everything I could.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll tell you this. Joe, I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, go ahead and play this, but you need to show Carlos what was happening before you
I'll do that. I'll do that. And the picture from the DVR, the 2.7K 60.
Yeah. It looks
There's
nice.
no
Which is
stable.
what
I
you're
mean, there's no
seeing, Mike.
stabilization. There's no stabilization in that either. And this is a 3-inch quad, so I mean, it's pretty solid looking.
The tune on it looks really solid. It's not
It-
bobbling or anything.
No, I was real pleased with that, and it's pretty much the stock tune on the new Betaflight 4.2.8.
Okay.
And I'm running the 48 K PWM frequency in the ESC. It's got the 32-bit ESCs.
Yeah.
I'm running RPM filtering is turned on.
Okay.
And
The
everything
RPM
else
filtering is probably what's doing the majority of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else is just stock tune. We probably could decrease move the filter slider to the right a little bit, but it seems to work great. And
Man, I wouldn't touch a thing. That thing is just
No,
solid.
Yeah.
now look, I'm real pleased. There's the cricket pitch down in the bottom of the picture. See it right there, Carlos?
Yep. You
I'm
know what
way
I
up high. You can
noticed?
see the whole park.
It's not that fisheye considering I've seen other.
No, the
Oh, there
the
you go, a little
DV
bit.
yeah, the DVR doesn't have nearly the field of view of the FPV camera, but
Yeah.
it's not supposed to.
Right. Oh, it looks good.
But considering the thing was flying directly into the sun and a lot
Did
of
you
times
land
the
it on a
handle-
pillow?
No, I landed it on the concrete, Carlos. It's
Get
got
out there with one of those gold-plated pillows, right? You know, with the ruffles.
I put feet
Damn,
feet
you are
on it.
up there, man.
I did that. I wanted to
Yeah,
get
looks
some
nice.
pictures of the park. Yeah.
Yeah, you took it to
But,
400 and just turned the motors off.
I mean, you
Yeah.
could take this thing and if you just flew it gently, you could do some cruising with it because it's got the crossfire on it and it's even at the 800 at the video was pretty solid. When I got kind of sideways to myself behind some trees there in the
Right.
parking lot,
Yeah, you
whoa,
expect that.
I got a little flickering. But look how solid that video signal is.
Now you know what causes most of that when you're down low like that is
Water
the
in
water
trees?
in the trees. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah, trees block water like crazy.
Yep.
Mitch, can you go back
See,
in the
like right there.
afternoon where there's no water on the trees? See what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Anything. Let me tell you something, Carlos. I'm done flying your quad. I don't want. I mean, I want to send it to you, so I don't
is-
want to be responsible for wrecking something.
Yeah.
You know.
I wouldn't change a thing on it, man. That tune looks really good.
Come
It
back in
seems
about
to.
a million years, they'll be petrified. Then they probably won't block the signal as bad.
So this is. I'm trying to decide right now. Do I want to go to the grass? Now I'll just land on the concrete. I put
Nice landing.
feet on it. So let me show you. This is what the thing looked like before. Look at the feed in the FPV feed.
Yeah, you're getting
You
just a
know,
little bit of
and
power noise.
I've seen video with motor noise in it. To me, that isn't that bad.
You know what was causing it? What was causing that motor noise, guys, was that.
Oh, wait, a right turn.
Give me a break.
I can't say that.
What was causing the motor noise was right back here where the VTX is mounted back here.
Yeah.
I had that capacitor from the ESC and the power wires right over where the video line just happened to come in the back of the VTX, and
Yep.
all that stuff was in such close proximity. So I actually, if you can see it, Carlos, I mounted the capacitor up on
Right
the
up. Yeah.
up on the wire. It may not be every bit as good, but it certainly improved the video picture, and it's only a
when I-
4S anyway. You could theoretically get away without the capacitor. This is a 6S flight controller setup, so you're not going to. But
First
I did
of all,
put
I
it.
think the capacitor is always a good idea. And second of all, you've got a carbon fiber plate between the capacitor and where the VTX is at.
Yeah, now, and plus the power wire itself was running very close. And then I took the two wires with the video signal, and I took a separate ground and the yellow video wire, and I twisted them all the way up and then soldered them to the VTX, and that I think helped too. So that combination of things got rid of 90% of that motor noise. And I think
It's always the little
Carlos,
things. Yep.
you're going to just friggin' love this.
I'll be quite
quad.
satisfied, I'm sure.
It is such a smooth flying, great flying quad. It just, everything about it just works. You're going to love it.
That's
So,
the Acrobrat, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the Acrobrat.
That is a
Yeah.
tough frame too. That'll take
Oh, yeah.
abuse.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. You
I
can't
have
kill
proof
this.
of that.
Yeah, I've got this same frame. I built one for myself and put an actually managed to cram an air unit, a DJI
Yeah.
air unit in there, and put the flight controller up in the front, and that flies cool. I love that little quad.
Hey, Mitch.
go ahead.
Yes.
Real quick, the Japs. Can we just change the flight controller? Because you said that was part of the issue with the Japaluras.
You know, I don't remember, to tell you the truth, Carlos. It may be the only thing. I don't know what.
But if we get an all-in-one flight controller, we can use everything else that's on that quad, right?
Possibly.
Probably. Yeah.
Possibly. I don't remember. It's been almost a year since I fooled with
Yeah.
that thing. Yeah.
So
I
you're
think-
saying, Mitch, we shouldn't run the network cable over the phosphorus lights,
Yeah.
over
Exactly.
the fluorescent
Yeah.
lights?
Something
Yeah,
like that.
That's
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Mitch, did you do any of your build?
Do you mean
yeah,
to tell
I-
me that it's been a year since you worked on Carlos Japalera?
Has it been 8 months? Was it when? It's
I think it was about a year because the COVID.
Yeah, it's been a
I think it
while.
was pre-COVID.
it's been a while. This
All this
Man.
craziness started in February, March last year. So
last year, Carlos. This is where I'm at with the.
Oh, nice.
I just with the little build. I got. I decided, sometimes when you think about building these things, for example, I want the receiver antenna. I want to make sure that by putting the receiver antenna in first back here and mounting the camera and air unit, I can place all the wiring where I want it before I actually set the flight controller stack down on top and get the motor wires where I want them. So basically pre-planning where everything's going to go before I start putting it in there. So that's what I did first. I got the frame, the motors in, I got the camera and the Vista unit in, the receiver antenna, and the wire for the receiver antenna just comes right up here where the receiver's going to go, so I don't have to worry about how am I going to keep that from sticking out.
Kind of like a dry fit.
That's it.
Yeah, and I've
Small,
gone
that
ahead and
little thing.
what's
Right?
that?
The Acrobrat look. Bleh, the
Acrobrat-
looks bigger.
It is. The Acrobrat is
beefier,
definitely
too.
bigger. Yeah. Well, this is
Technically, they're 3-inch, right?
This is a 3-inch, but it's a skinnier arm, long range,
Yeah.
dead cat
Skinnier
looking,
frame, too.
skinnier frame, lighter weight. It's designed to be more of a long range than a bando basher like the Acrobrat is. The Acrobrat is designed to be able to take some hits. But
I'm gonna
Want to
fly
hear a
that like
funny
an old
war
lady.
story, Mitch?
what's that?
I said, you want to hear a funny war story on this? I walked into a site one time that I was doing an eval on, and they took me into the computer room, and they were talking about how it's all beautiful. It's got the raised floors, all those kinds of things. And they had these 3-tier shelves that this is all before rack mount, so we still had towers for servers. They had the monitors in the middle, and they had the towers up on the top shelf. All looked pretty and great. So I walked around the end and looked around the backside. Guess where the network cables from every one of the towers was hanging over top of? The CRT
Towers.
monitors.
nice. Nice.
It's like every one of them was right over top of the CRT monitor. And it's like, hey guys, you know what a electronic magnetic interference is?
Electrostatic
funny.
field from the high voltage on a CRT.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
You're talking about those computers that had to have raised floors, temperature control with the wheels?
Oh, I remember those days.
No.
Yeah, the computer.
Yeah, no,
you
this
needed
was-
a card. You needed cards for those. My father used to work.
You
on
needed
those.
air conditioning out the
This-
wazoo for those things.
this
my
was
goodness.
Yeah,
raised.
you did.
This was an actual raised floor where the air conditioning was running under the floor.
Oh, yeah.
They had
Yeah.
they
When
had
I was a
raised
kid,
floor.
they had vacuum tubes in computers.
Yep. Well,
I'm
that's how
serious.
that's how the word bug
I'm
in programs
serious.
came about.
I'm not
right?
joking. In Philadelphia, when
Right.
I grew up
Yeah.
at the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia, in the
Yeah.
basement, they had a Univac
Oh my lord.
computer, and it was all vacuum tubes,
Yep.
donut memory core. Remember the
Yep.
donuts, the magnetic donuts with all the wires? The whole basement. The whole basement millions of dollars, and the power that it drew didn't have a tenth of the power of this friggin' cell phone.
That's where the word. That's where the word bug came from with programs, because those early ones with the whole vacuum tubes, they were running something one time and it quit running, and they walked into the room and one of the tubes had exploded from a moth. So that's literally
ate the wire.
That's literally where the word bug in a program came from.
Wow.
Was from the moth exploding the vacuum tube.
God, you're a veritable shithouse of trivia.
You have to remember where I work in the industry that I work in, Mitch.
I don't know, but I picture Mitch with an early computer. I picture the Flintstones and a little bird going.
Yeah, I was thinking that, Carl.
I get no respect at all. You guys didn't know this, but I wrote all of Rodney Dangerfield's material for him. You don't know that. It's all based on my own life. Me and George Costanza.
I bet he's getting really good calluses on his feet too from those early cars.
Yeah, those early cars. Yeah.
And it wasn't from the takeoff; it was from the stopping.
Yeah, it's true.
But we got to get more old people into FPV because
define old.
Well, I mean, anybody that
I started at 56. That's pretty old.
There you go. Well, I mean, if you're a young kid, you're going to develop better reflexes faster. You're going to.
You think so? Is that like a fact? Not necessarily.
I think so. I think just looking at the hand-eye coordination of the kids with the video games
that's
today.
Just a natural physical thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You do
Well,
that.
yeah. There's truth to that because the Air Force has done study with pilots, right? And this is why they're really into the female pilots. One of the reasons female pilots have such good reactions is because the distance between the brain and the ends of the fingers is actually closer than in a male. So it's actually fractions of a second faster in the transmission. So that's why kids have the
To
same
be honest
thing.
with you, I think it's more like, okay, these females are less likely to get some adrenaline, testosterone flowing, and just say, let me try this.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you're doing those 9G turns, you need some of that adrenaline to lead into the belt to keep the blood from going to your feet.
That's why they make G's. Have any of you guys ever experienced high G's like that?
I've done
I've done 4
-2 and positive maybe 7.
This is about as only 4G I do right here.
I'll tell you what, the negative G's is what will screw you up.
When you're flying, I've done about +8 -3 or so in the biplane that I used to fly.
Yeah,
and one day,
-3 is getting there to blackout territory.
One day I was out at the field and we had a hangar across from where I kept my plane. We had this guy. His name was Larry. He was an excellent, almost air show type aerobatic pilot, and he had a Yak 50. A Yak 50 is Russian aerobatic airplane with a huge radial engine. And back at the time, they couldn't give these engines away. The surplus engines, you could buy them for like $1,500, and so he had the engine, the airplane, and a few spare engines, and he took that thing out one day, and he came after he landed. He taxied back up, and I was doing something to my airplane there, and he yells, "Hey, Mitch, come here!" And I said, "What?" He said, "Come here." So I came over, and he says, "Look at the G meter." And they have G meters that remember the highest readings, okay, until you reset them. +11 -7. I said, "What the hell were you doing?" He says, "Lumshavaks." And if you know what a lumshavak is,
I do.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't even imagine, because even 4Gs, a loop, just to do a loop. A loop is a 4G maneuver. In fact, that's how you fly a loop. You fly straight and level. You get a little airspeed up. You take a look at the G meter. You pull back until the G meter says 4, and you're going to do a nice loop.
Yep.
And even 4Gs is, funny face looking
It'll
Shit.
pin you
Yeah.
in this.
I can't even
Explain-
imagine. I can't even imagine 11.
Can you explain this Hebrew word you just came up with?
What
Lumshawah.
he-
I don't know.
Lumshawak.
Lum Shavak.
Basically, a
Lumshawak.
Lumshawak is a maneuver where you are aerodynamically flipping the airplane end over end.
End over end.
And
Okay.
Just-
let me tell you what, not very many airplanes can do it.
No.
No, you
Model
rip the
airplanes. We
wings
used to
off.
do them with the model airplanes
Right.
all the time. First thing you do is you pull up hard, you pull it back into a snap roll, and then when it flips over, you give it full down everything, and then
Yep.
it starts stumbling like this.
Yep.
Really cool. Yeah.
To
Yeah,
get
I
a
used to
full-size
love it.
aircraft to do that is very difficult.
It is.
So-
It is. It's too much weight. A
Yep.
model can do it easier. It doesn't have as much crap to swing around.
That's right.
But
Sounds like a good way to crash one.
Yeah.
They,
well, you
there
just
have been
have
a
to
number of
recover
pilots
from
that
it.
have broke them. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and you
Oh,
recover
I
from it
know.
like you
I
recover
don't
from. You
wanna
just let
be-
go. If you let go, same thing with the spin. You let go, maybe a little counter rudder. The airplane will just stop, and the nose will point down, and you build up a little speed, and you pull
That's
out.
right. Yep.
If you
Has
wanna
there
have- you
ever
wanna
been a
have
maneuver that snapped the wing because it's just too much?
Many.
You ever
Well,
heard
any
of something
maneuver,
like that?
yeah, that's easy.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
easy to do. Yeah.
You
Oh my
you
God.
do see that. I don't want to say often, but the most often you see it is with aerobatic aircraft.
Yeah, I
So-
would think.
They have
I was gonna
spar
s-
failures.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember the guy's name, but it was a P-51 Mustang Racing. Isn't that what he
Racing
did? He
is another
pulled
thing, yeah.
pulled too many G's and like ripped the ring off and went straight to
Well,
the
yeah,
ground.
when you do it with an airplane that's 80 years old, yeah.
Yeah, not only that, but those things, they're going 450, 550 miles an hour, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
turning around, they're pulling around pylons. Now
Yep.
you're talking
Yeah.
about a
They're
high G
pulling
maneuver.
high Gs. Yep.
Well,
No, most
not
of the
only
ones I
that,
see.
You think about it. So here's this guy doing what you're talking about, Hot Rod, and they've probably been doing that for a while, and they're comfortable with doing that with the plane for a while. But while they're doing it, every time they do it,
Yep.
they're stressing
More
out
stress.
places
Yeah,
in the wings,
exactly.
and then one day it comes unglued, and there it goes.
To give you an idea of what some of these airplanes capable of doing that are actually stressed to, the Pitts S1 is stressed plus 12, minus 12. So, and it's a wood, a steel tube fabric body and a
Yeah.
wood wing that's fabric
wing.
covered. So, and it's plus 12, minus 12.
That stands for G's.
Yes,
12?
12 Gs.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to fly a Kristen Eagle. Have you ever seen one of those things?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
God,
They're
was-
basically an offshoot of
of the pits, yeah.
So-
I almost, a guy was trying to sell it to me. So the two of us went up for it. This was this guy, Larry, who was this aerobatic pilot. So I went up with him, and he showed off what this airplane would do. I mean, I was,
yeah.
and was I ever glad to get back on the ground after that?
The first small plane I flew in was cloth covered. I think it was at an Aeronica. And
A Champ.
it was,
Bronco,
An
yeah.
Aeronica Champ, yeah.
and it
I had,
was tandem, one seat behind the other
Yep.
with the stick. And
Yeah, well, that was
dude,
my
we getting
decathlon.
rolled- I swear we getting rolled 50 feet down the runway or 50 yards down the runway, and we were in the air.
Well, I showed you pictures of the decathlons that I had. The Belanca decathlon, which is a tandem front back fabric covered aerobatic airplane. They're great fun to fly, but they're kind of useless to go on cross countries or trips. They're designed to do one thing, and that's just go up and have fun.
Yeah, I've seen some of the tests that Boeing have done on some of their planes when they're stressing the wings. It's why I don't worry about it when I'm flying. I'm like, I've never seen a wing go that high.
I actually watched
as far as they
the
stress them.
video when they were doing the stress tests when they were first coming out with the 777. They literally pulled that wing up where it had an arc in it. In the
Oh,
wing,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
this before it failed.
Before it failed, yeah.
It was
That's
amazing.
comforting.
Yeah, the wings are not
It really
gonna
is.
the wings are
It
not
is.
gonna
Man,
come off.
I cannot believe how much how much bend it took before it actually broke.
You don't see aircraft wing failures in the real world. You see other causes of crashes, but wings, you just is not something that happens. Those
I mean,
things are
look
built.
at the engines that have exploded recently.
Oh, yeah?
It took chunks out of the wing, and it was.
Yeah.
still
It
fine.
amazes me that engines don't explode more often than they do, to tell you the truth.
I agree with you there. I'm actually surprised myself.
Yep, that is very true. Here,
Yeah,
I'll throw you a tidbit. Now, Mitch, you'll probably know this, but do you guys know why the Champion Citabria is named a Citabria?
No, I don't even know that.
You don't? Oh, goodness,
No.
I'll get you on that one, too. Take Citabria and spell it backwards.
Oh, aerobatic. That's right. You know, I did know
aerobatic.
that. I had forgotten it. Yeah, I had
That
forgotten
is why
that.
it's named
Yeah,
the Citabria. It's aerobatic spelled backwards.
I had forgotten that.
That because the Champion Citabria is their aerobatic aircraft. So
And decathlon, the decathlon is basically a Citabria as well.
That's
It's
right.
They're aerobatic, and it's a fully symmetrical airfoil.
Yeah.
On the decathlon.
I think the Citabria wasn't. I think it was semi-symmetrical.
I think so. Yeah, like the Piper Cup, a little more designed for
Yeah.
not for as much aerobatics as basic short field flying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
got,
Okay. Anyways,
Hey.
I think I'm going to jump out. I know
Well,
I'm
hey,
the only camera guy, but I don't mind. I like
right,
hanging
Rob.
out with you guys.
We have no
Why don't you
problem with
just
that.
You're gonna. It's only
Chat and hang
a
out.
matter of time before
There you
Before
go.
you
There's
be-
a good picture.
before you become
I
here.
will say I always wanted.
Before we
to,
go,
I
this
always
is-
wanted to fly since I was like 4 or 5 years old. So
There, that was my decathlon right there.
There you go.
yeah.
Nice. A super decathlon. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I somewhere I got another.
A quick
well,
hello to Chris
wait.
Hope, who joined us.
Yeah.
My grandfather
What
used to.
what I have in my screen, Mitch, is the first small plane I flew.
Yeah, my
And then-
my step grandfather, his brother had a Cessna, and we used to go up when I was a kid and fly around and buzz the house at about 200 feet and all sorts of other little crazy things once in a while
Oh, yeah.
in that thing. And so I've always had the love of flight since I was a little kid.
Hey, Rod.
This
Chris Hope says you can do both GPS and FPV.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
see this car right here over here where I'm pointing with the mouse. That was Larry's hangar.
Not a car.
Larry, the guy
That's a
that Larry,
truck.
the pilot that scared the shit out of me all the time. That was
SUV.
his hangar, right across from my hangar. But that
That's
was,
a pretty plane.
Yeah, I like the
it was
colors.
it was a gorgeous airplane.
Yeah, that is for sure.
I had a good time with that. Yeah.
Trying to find a picture.
This
of
was
mine.
here we go.
The one
This
that
was
I flew.
my little biplane.
It's a cute little plane.
Yeah, I
Can-
can see getting
can
into
you-
trouble.
Can
with
you
that
see?
puppy,
Can you
too.
see me? Look
The
how
guy,
young
the
I
bearded
was.
dude.
Look how young I was back.
You know, the orange is really good. That light blue on there, though, yeah,
I
need to be
know.
something else.
I know that was
You
a
know,
death trap, that airplane right there.
You know, a nice dark blue on there with those orange stripes would look cool. But that little powder blue like that, yeah, not really.
That's a home built airplane, man. That's
Yep.
a home built airplane. It's all.
So that means
steel
you
tube
picked the
and
paint.
fabric. Well, I didn't build it, but when I bought
Oh,
it from the
got
guy
it.
who did build it, it was in like 30 pieces. So in essence, I did have to almost build it because I had to get it all together, and then I had to get it all inspected and annual, and approved to fly.
Gas
it
got
was-
to
it was a
cost a
project.
few dollars.
It was a project. But I didn't paint. I didn't pick the colors, and I wasn't about to paint the stupid thing. So.
So anyways,
I
good
was-
chatting with
You
everybody.
already had enough
It was
of that
fun.
free.
We'll see
Adios.
y'all.
All right, Rod. Good to see you.
Have a good night.
Absolutely, Rod.
Take care. I'm going
So
to call
that's
it, guys.
the
I think it's
thing,
time. I think it's time to. Now all of a sudden we're getting more people coming in, but I'm tired. Hey, Chris, how you
That's
doing?
the
Chris
way it
Hope is in the
works,
house.
man.
Yeah.
That's what, look, Mitch, that's sometimes why I wind up doing a 5-hour live stream, is because just about the time I'm ready to shut it down, all these other people show up.
Everybody shows up.
I saw Art Carlson's stream from Saturday night, and I looked at it. It's at 4 hours and 30-something minutes. I
Yeah.
said, what the hell could have taken 4?
He just has a great time with everybody.
I mean, it's just like right now, Bob Casey just shows up.
Oh, hey Bob, how you doing? Well, maybe I ought to do it later instead of 7. Maybe I ought to do it at 8 on Monday night.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know, but then if you did it later, you'd miss out on the 7 o'clock crowd.
I guess. Anyway, I like to cut them at around 2 hours. That's enough. That's enough talking for me. There's a cigar out there with my name on it.
I got one waiting for me too.
It needs, well, then you're a man of class and taste, my friend.
Try to.
Oh boy.
Between my cigar and my Diet Coke, man, there it goes. That's it.
There you go. Attaboy. All right, guys. Well, listen.
Iraq's 2 hours behind us, you know.
Yeah.
Some people get off work late, or they have to go feed a damn dog.
Yeah, I guess. Or they just sleep all day like Carlos.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I apologize.
Yeah, he's got an excuse. He's poor guy's just started his new. It's not even a diet, Carlos. It's a lifestyle. Don't even think of it as a diet.
No, I'm not.
Your new lifestyle.
I'm trying to find my picture of my airplane. I've got it here floating around here somewhere. Ah, there we go.
Yeah, Mitch, where do you find a list of the do's and the don'ts with this diet?
YouTube.
What to eat?
Everything. There's a billion videos about keto dieting on YouTube.
Yeah. It's really working out for one person I know.
I'll tell you who to follow when I talk to you. I'll tell you who to listen to. Berg. Just listen to some guy named Berg, Dr. Berg, B-E-R-G. This guy's got predominantly good advice and a lot of it.
All right, there we go. I found my picture. I found it.
All right, let's see what you got.
There it is.
Hold on. Let me make you big. Where are you here? Here it is.
That is a 1956 Cessna 172. It's not an Alpha.
Cow.
It's not a B. It's not a C. That is a 172.
First one.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And the end number.
Look at the tail. Look at the tail.
Look at the straight tail. Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
That's how you can tell them apart. The 56, 57s, and some of the early 58s all had straight tail.
Yeah.
So, and it has a fastback, which means it has no dorsal fin. So, or a very small dorsal fin.
That's a 50 what?
56.
Man, that's like I had Chris. I had a 1966, which is only 10 years newer than this.
Yep.
310 Cessna 310 N model. An N model.
I want a 56 310.
Yeah, you want a Sky King 310 with the straight tip tanks that are straight. My tip tanks actually had the angle, had the angle on them. But mine didn't have the rear window. Mine didn't have the rear window yet.
Right. This doesn't have the rear window either. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's out there at Bacon Strip out in California.
You know what the crazy part is? The strut. You see the strut holding that wing?
Yep.
I had to finagle myself to the end of the strut and let go to jump out of an airplane. Imagine flying up. I mean, up in the air and then working your way out. Holy cow! Was that?
That's cool.
Another tidbit. Look at the end number.
I can't see.
It's 7,000 alpha.
On the wheels.
7,000 alpha.
Yep. Every time I'd go into a larger towered airport, I would just give the 00 alpha, on it, and they go, "What's your full end number?" And I go 7000. Yeah, and it's like, okay, 00 alpha, we got you.
Most of the time, when I flew out of, when me and my flying partner flew out, it was a Cessna 172.
And my daughters. Okay.
We just call it 01 Golf.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do is you use the last 3 digits. Yeah. Here's a nice little tidbit for you. I was actually flying back and forth for my work down to San Diego when I was living up in the high desert, California. You see that fence behind the airplane there? That is the U.S.-Mexican border.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You could have run drugs from there.
Well, the airstrip was literally 100 yards off the fence.
Roll up on you like, let me check your airplane.
Actually, I was flying back and forth regularly every day, and I actually had a Border Patrol aircraft follow me in one morning.
Wow.
And he sat down right behind me. He was in a Piper Super Cub. He never shut down, but he pulled up, opened up his window. We had a chat. And I told him, yeah, my boss is coming to pick me up. And I turned around and my boss had just pulled up outside the gate. And I says, I got to go, guys. And he says, okay, not a problem. He went down, did a high powered output. And I got some really cool pictures of that. So
Nice.
yeah, it was, it's just one of those times, you know.
Where did you learn how to fly, Chris?
Up at the high desert. I learned how to fly at 4,000, 5,000 feet.
But I'm saying as a private individual, you weren't in the armed forces.
No. I did it on my own. Yeah.
Cool.
So, but yeah, those are some of the pictures of the areas. So yeah. So yeah, I'm glad I found that. So
cool.
There we go. All right. So there we go.
Cool.
There's my little flying. So
Nice.
I'm building a much bigger airplane though. So.
Oh, you're building one now?
Yes. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm building a 4-seat bush plane. So.
Oh, no kidding.
That airplane only had 145 horsepower. The airplane I'm building will have 300.
Oh, you're using like a Continental 520 or something like that?
It'll probably be Lycoming IO 540 or bigger.
540.
Or an
Okay,
IO
well,
550.
But that's
So,
a lot of engine.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately.
The prop, just the propeller.
Just the prop is like $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 depending on the size.
Incredible. Yeah, some of these three-bladed variable pitch props can be $30,000-$40,000.
Yeah, depending on the engine horsepower. Yep.
Yeah.
Mad Kiwi.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
I'm going to
Greg.
say goodbye.
Hey.
All right,
Mad
good
Kiwi.
night. I'm
I
going
know
to
he
say
wants
good night.
to,
You guys are keeping me from my cigar, damn it. And well, Ed,
At least I still got light out, you know.
yeah. Oh no, I got light. I hit a switch and I got. light, so.
No. I still have light out.
I know. Well, you're
So where are you at?
Southern New Mexico.
in
Oh,
Mexico.
well, I guess you do still have.
He's in the
light.
past. We're in the future.
Yes, I am still in the past. Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
All right, guys.
Have a good
Hey,
night.
thanks for
Sorry I was
coming.
late, Mitch. Next
Carlos,
time
you
I'll
have
be
a good
That's
night.
all right, Carlos. It was your show and you missed it. So,
I
Ed,
apologize.
Chris, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Enjoyed having you, man. Do it again.
Had a
Have a
great
good night.
time.
Take care, Chris.
Do it again.
Edward.
And as always, fly, you fools.
Fly,
Yes.
you fools.
Come to the dock side.
Shit. Get off of my screen. Wait a minute.
goodness.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you gotta
Wait a minute.
you gotta hit it. When
Get
you
off
do
of my
that.
lawn.
Yeah, there
kids.
you go. Yeah. I actually,
All right,
my
buddy.
wife actually thought when I said that the first time, that phrase, she actually thought I was saying, "Come to the dock," DOC
The
side.
dock side. Well,
Right. Well, I was saying dark, but I was saying it a certain way. You know how the East Coast says it.
yeah.
Because half my relatives are from Rhode Island, so it's like
Well, if you're from Rhode Island, you'd say dock.
that's right.
Dark would come out dock.
Yeah, that's right. It's dock.
Yeah. Dock.
So it sounded to her like I was saying dock.
But that's clever for you.
But when she
With
came
your-
up with that, I thought about, oh, that's perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I got to get a shirt made with that and all that.
You
That's
do.
just going to be fun.
You
So,
do.
Yep. So,
All right. Well, thanks for
Mitch,
coming.
good time. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
We'll do it
Night,
again.
everybody in
Take
the
care.
chat.
Take care. All right, that leaves just me and the monkey. And we'll go bring in a little music. Say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for coming in, guys. Bob Casey, good to see you. Craig, Mad Kiwi, Rat's still here. And Carlos, enjoyed having you. And who else? Ed is still in the chat. And Chris and Mike Kinney. Well, you're still hanging around. Thank you. Thanks for being here. I don't know who else is still around. Not many guys left, but thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed having a little gathering tonight, and we'll do it again next week, Monday night, 7 o'clock. So with that, I'm going to let Spank the monkey say goodnight. So say goodnight, Spanky.